action on SABC2 at 6:30 and repeats on Sundays at 1. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
From creepy homes to chaotic kitchens, join SABC2 this October for spine-tingling television. At 6:30 every Sunday, the comedy mixtape will grip your funny bone. Delve into the depths of obsession. Monday, 7:30, where hoarding horrors live under the bed. These taste masters are serving more than sugar. They're serving suspense. Tuesday, 7:30. Blink and you might be married in a flash and possibly spooked. Sunday, 7:30. Unleash wild chills from snake pits to survival stunts on Dingo Untamed. Fridays at 8. Fun, freaky and thrilling this October on SABC2.
Absolute pandemonium here. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't even count the fatalities. It just seems like it's a big number. And once again, the security has just not been tight enough. And this is one of the saddest things that I've personally ever been witness to. And as I say, I can't count how many there are, but there are a lot. And I don't think that this match is going to continue.
I love soccer. I can say I love for soccer. During my school days, I played a little bit of soccer. Then I became to be a supporter and a fan. And my team is Orlando Pirates.
For me, it's more than just a sport. It's some kind of a religion, if you want to call it that, because of the intense emotion that is involved in it, because of what it is that it means to me and to quite a lot of people, not just South African, not just African, but world over.
Soccer kanne ndingatori ndu fano chira. When it comes to soccer, the fan of Kaizer Chiefs. Whenever it's playing and wherever it's playing, I'm always there. Our team is not giving and take Kaizer Chiefs, especially Derby, Chiefs and Pirates.
Pirates since it supporter from Salumunyane. Yeah.
When the PSL releases the fixture list for that season, the most important fixture is the Orlando Pirates Kaizer Chiefs fixture.
At school, we talk a lot about soccer. Amongst ourselves, my colleagues and so on, teaching one another, talking about our teams, saying what we can do, how the future is going to be with the soccer and those things.
Chiefs and Pirates,
Dumbula Derby at the Tamba Ellis Park.
There was great excitement amongst my friends and also soccer supporters here in the house as well, my son, because it was like, this is the game. The whole 2 weeks, for 3 weeks when we were talking about it.
When that game was going to take place, the build-up, the week before the game, there was a lot of talking. You would always get the other guys telling the other guys how they are going to mess them up on the football field.
Because this one, I'm the one, I don't win. This time around, win at this time.
One of the teams that win that game that evening would have been the lock leaders at the end to take the trophy, because it was a crucial game for both teams, Pirates and Chiefs.
There was this great hype, there was this great intensity in the sense that the game itself meant so much, and also that it was going to be a midweek game and everybody wanted to be part of it.
We were at holiday, it was school holidays. Fortunately for me, my son and myself was at home. Kelvin went to work. It was Wednesday. Kelvin is my wife's cousin's husband. And Kelvin went to work. So he phoned me, said, organize the tickets and everything for us. And wasn't worried about those things. And that morning when we wake up, at home it was normal. And we were playing cricket and swimming a little bit in the pool. But the thing in our minds was, we're going to the stadium. That was the main object for that day.
Game yela be thoma ka 8 o'clock. So re na go mmere go re chesa ka go re ha bo re chesa ka 3:45.
Well, one arrived at the stadium approximately an hour before kickoff, and I remember that by the time I was there, the stadium was almost packed to capacity. There were huge numbers of people still outside the stadium, still trying to make their way into the stadium.
Yeah, we left around about that, say 5:30, between that time we left for the stadium. I went to go pick up Kelvin and his 3 sons, and we went to the stadium.
Re tsamaile mo ko re ka ba ile bona go 26. Yeah. Right, re tla go haro route, wa bona haro route, a ke re ke jo slow bona tshi. So ra ba re tshwara ke traffic ile re bele ke dikoloi tse di ngwana mo go Ellis Park. Ene le batho ba tswang go bo Hillbrow bo Bellevue tsona di batho ba nang go le flete mo la bona.
Re nga ro bva pala ni tshi go re bo 25 to 7 ngo ra re go chimbila ho bona dala nga manda mana ho bona dala nga manda.
When we arrived at the stadium, it was like past 6, 7, past 6, around about something to 7.
Ga re fitla mo la re thola re ya go re di thaba di le di go go isinyana, so ene ba di rile di red tape ka ntwela re no tsama re tsama mo are go fitela o reka di ticket mo ya no mo le ra gwetsa re go ba problem batho go ba bantsi ene le ona ba tla ba thoma o di rekisa na go ba thoma ro ba rekisa bjale ke na go bjalo batho ba setsi ba kore ya na go bjale gore ya e setsi iranela wa ona go kena ka gare bjano ka gore game yo thoma bo ma 28.
There was a bus there. It was a bus. People was talking, screaming, and people were looking for tickets. People were carrying on there the gates. It was just like chaos, more or less.
O felo no feletse le re able di tickets are bara khona ka di reka tle o ile gore o pushana ka wa gore bo thola gore man motho tsamaya go di muso ka ra gore wa pushana go bongwe ke bana go ngwana ebile le bona ba scream man gore ya.
We went in through gate 4. We were looking for a place to sit. So we tried to go from the one side to the other side, but eventually we went through the tunnel. I think they were gate 4. And we went down the stairs.
I'm located at the media box. We have a designated area, the media tribune, where all the journalists covering the game will be positioned, especially the print journalists. And I am with fellow colleagues. One guy I remember in particular that was standing close to me was Raymond Nxumalo, who at the time was with City Press, if I'm not mistaken. And referee blows the whistle, the game gets underway, Pirates launch an attack, Chiefs counters, it is end-to-end action, whistles, vuvuzelas, the whole vibe.
Ngandira yabo dalangayo batho ba banda Chiefs chitokorai habana phosho khulu nga manda yeto ri batho ba banda ba lwedzana batho jena stadium ngandira ya hone so ende ba bombulezo ri nda bona batho bane ba lingana batho bane wangu mu stadium ba ko bona Ellis Park zo ndinga fa.
The search started when the goal came. But at first it was okay. When we used going to stadium, you get a situation where you go through the turnstiles, through the alleys and the tunnels and those things. There are people push you used to that. But it was the normal thing that we used to at the stadium. But when the goal game suddenly started, like everybody wanted to get into the stadium from outside. Everybody wanted to get into the stadium. And it's like, at that time, it's like...
Now that the whistle is gone and the match is on and all these throngs of supporters are making this noise, he who is outside, he or she who is outside, who's not there already, is really trying to rush now. They are really pushing so that they can be in. Because there is this whole, I'm missing out on the action thing.
So ge ba phusha dikeiti tsela o fa fithela mo keiti ela ewa le tratela ewa bjalo batho ba bona.
It was suddenly a surge of people coming through the tunnel. Okay, and they at gate 4. And we went down the stairs, and that is where we got stuck. We couldn't move.
Mzansi, the fire is lit, and SABC Sport is championing our phenomenal women like never before. From netball to hockey, soccer to swimming, track to motorsport, our queens are dominating every arena. All the action, all the time, easily accessible on SABC Plus. Stream it anywhere, anytime, on the go. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so let us show up in pink, stand tall, and celebrate the strength of our unstoppable women in sport. They don't just play, they dominate. So turn it up, feel the heat, and catch every moment only on SABC Sport for the love of the game.
One of the gentlemen, I don't know who's the gentleman, he said to us, pick the children up, put them on your shoulders. Because they were 11 years old. But I picked Annette's cousin's child up, and I put him on my shoulder. Because Rosen was a little bit bigger than him. So I said, let me pick a small one up and put a small one on my shoulder.
Wa pushana mo le na mo kilegeri kori ise ke opla ke ntse ke tshwareletse ka chipinya nengwe nna ke tsoparetse ore at least man wa bona ke ska ba ka wela ko fase wa bona ya ba bona mo wa pushana ma ba pusha dikeiti tsela na magwa ke ana kwa emi ka tsona le uktobite tsa bona tse ene ba gole kwa.
As we're standing, because where we're looking at this crowd to the eastern section. And as action continues, you find that there is some commotion going on the northeastern stand of the stadium. Yes, it's full. Yes, you think that there's no more space to accommodate any more people, but you see people still streaming in, particularly on that section.
We that were together was split up. Kiawan went another direction, the way that people were pushing as we went through the tunnel and down the stairs. And eventually that went on quite a while. It was that time everybody was struggling to breathe, everyone was trying to move your legs and so on. You were stuck there.
Batho kuri resete re athologana na le moshimane le na ke sa tsoba roko kae le na sa tsoba le na roko go kae le bona ba le ba bang re tle le bona kore o mongolo mo wa re tsebo rena o ko kae wa bona.
No, none of us could move. And the people sitting on the chairs trying to help us couldn't help us because we were lying on some of the people sitting on the chairs. Some people tried to burn newspapers to just indicate there's a problem there where we are, there we were.
I've started seeing people waving pieces of paper, burning pieces of paper at that. And I thought this must be some overexcitement. You know, you do not want to have a situation like that where people are going to be burning pieces of paper. But as you try to ignore it, you notice that this is continuing, and to a point where you feel that it looks as though those people are asking for attention. They are trying to draw somebody's attention to something that could be happening there. So Ray and I get into a conversation. I'm like, do you notice? Can you see what is going on there? And initially we dismissed it as, these guys are overexcited now.
I can't recall how long it was, but it was quite a period. I can say 10, 15 minutes, I'm not sure.
And more papers were being waved, more pending papers were being waved, and you thought there is trouble there. And I said to Ray, I'm not going to stand here. So I'm going to go find out what's going on there. And by the time we got down to the ground, we noticed that there was trouble.
I can remember say ba kitima lo ka re di ticket ya wa ke mahala be ale ka montsa mo ka ba bong ba wa kwa mane ke me gatano ba gata go dimo ana fa le ke.
I was standing more or less just a few meters away from the tunnel by the chase, but I couldn't move my legs. But most of the people that was here, we couldn't move our legs because I saw Calvin. He was laying there, and I tried to help him, pick him up and put him on one of the chairs there. And I saw Roswell, and I picked him up and I sent him down. I thought he was okay still. I sent him down, and people took him down onto the field, the area around the goalpost.
And as I approached, going behind the posts, you saw somebody being carried over the fence to the field. And you started hearing screams. And you got closer to the action and you realized that this person is dead.
Right, not like you wanna mo ka ba ki retsena ka ground too. Ka ba ki ari nta go di mo ka kwara kre a wa sitting alone no ba wonna go no bea fela le rawo le ti at least two can na mo le go bantse ba rona batho ba le bantse ba ba bea so mane ka line le bantse ba ba bea so a ona mo game ya ba stop akere.
I moved down to the soccer field. When I got down to the soccer field, I was looking for Rosman.
There were like people all over. People piling on top of people. People being taken under over the fence onto the field. Paramedics rushing to the scene.
When I walked towards him, the paramedics was busy with him. And I just saw one of the guys put something over him.
I didn't tell you more like Korean and Marvelli, but little one of a kind. Pura tomorrow, one hour and 2 hours to work tomorrow. Kurba tuwa William kwa maybe store umwe le barit lille bona wana ko wana. Hey,
the journalist in you wants to cover the story as it unfolds. But also the human being in you says, can you really continue working while this is happening? Do I carry on? Do I have the strength to carry on doing this job when I see what is happening? I was in turmoil with myself.
Ya zwone zwaziko baba nga manda ngori ro tsikothoma tsiko bona batho bolala ne pale bo fukedziwa nga malabi nga susono penye nsumbudzo ra ha chena batho borisi ya pala nga ndira mara zwone zwaziko baba nga manda.
Put my notebook in my pocket. I remember there was one person that Dr. Ramatisela and myself were holding, trying to move away from the entire situation. Then I saw that boy. Nation, his surname is, the youngest victim of this stampede. And then I saw his father. He was traumatized. Here was a man who had taken his son to go together to watch their favorite team. And right before his eyes, his son lost his life and he could do nothing about it.
Eventually I tried to get hold of my wife and family members. And I phoned my cousin and they came home. And I got hold of Annette and I spoke to Annette.
Dr. Matisele and myself were helping one gentleman, and I remember vividly him trying to feel the pulse of this gentleman. I was at this gentleman's feet, he was at his head, and he felt the pulse on the wrist and he felt the pulse on the neck, and he said, forget it, BBK is gone, and he moved on to the next person.
And then that time I tried again to help Kelvin. One of the supporters said, I don't think Kelvin did make it.
There's tears all over. There's no such thing as men do not cry.
It was
very unsure what to expect at home. So when I got into the house, Annette was sitting here and some of my family members and friends, and she accepted me in, and that was my greatest concern on my way home. He was a wonderful kid. His personality, the way he used to be, he made us laugh, he gave us joy in the house. Since he was born, he had a special place in my wife's, in Annette's heart and myself, and he just had a spark.
At the last count, 43 people that died. It remains a sad moment now for me. I'm certain it will forever be a sad moment for the Nation family.
From creepy homes to chaotic kitchens, join SABC2 this October for spine-tingling television. At 6:30 every Sunday, the comedy mixtape will grip your funny bone. Delve into the depths of obsession. Monday, 7:30, where hoarding horrors live under the bed. These taste masters are serving more than sugar. They're serving suspense. Tuesday, 7:30. Blink and you might be married in a flash and possibly spooked. Sunday, 7:30. Unleash wild chills from snake pits to survival stunts on Dingo Untamed. Fridays at 8. Fun, freaky, and thrilling this October on SABC2.
Having watched and seen Nation's son die, if you are a father, say to yourself, I do not want to subject my child to that. I feel for that brother there.
Ngamuramu simiyanga bonkaizai uri ndisingoya ndisikopfesori arali na ndova mumwe wa chipondo kana ndova mumwe wa vhathu vo do risia kana ulova wanenge bolani zwadova tiduzori miyanga vadova ko famini ndikulo lingedzo to pfelori mwana wa bala munna bolovaho khaladze kula kutukana muzwalo wa hola muthu olova bala pethu tiduzori na musi chiefs chitamana paretse ba famini tiduzori ba famini.
It's not going to happen again. I don't think in South Africa that will happen again. I went to the inquiry and the inquest about it. It was like they look at different things, and it was said that all parties involved need to look at what they must do so that this incident can never happen again.
Mara zwino zabone zwavhuḓi ndi zori zova zwithu zwa vhavanga maanḓa lune ndito rabelo ri abala vhathu chiefs dzina pirates chitamba vha mimu yavo if ole ngori athu vhoni na humbula uri zwa to tea zwo vanga nḓila ya zwa vangayo.
The question keeps coming back. Did you have to play that game there?
It's not something that because of soccer, but it's an incident. It's organizers of the event. They need to look at things like that.
Why did we expose ourselves to those dangers? I think what it did was to serve as a motivation for one to continue to highlight the problems, with the hope that by highlighting the problems, the powers that be, the authorities, will embrace that and work on it.
I always say Rosman and the rest of the 42 victims didn't die in vain.
If there's one thing that needs to be said about that moment as it unfolded, it's one day that you wish you can forget. But the thing for me was that the damage had already been done. And there was no way that South Africa could bring back those people. We're talking 43 affected families. It's not just 43 individuals who died. But then again, still people go to the stadium.
Zona azingochincha chitu kamne ngodora atichadwa stadium Chiefs chadwa favor ngoraro nana mtsindika the stadium ngamanda ubona Chiefs chitamba ngoraro well zone zonkwama ngamanda za mbaisa badi muyani ngoraro
kia eli nna game wa boeta tsona nthuta o tshwanetse o rife o pheta go ba le stampede na vaccine pike ka
I love soccer. I always say to people, it's not soccer that, it wasn't soccer sport. It was something else. That is how I look at it. What happened in Ellis Park.
matsatsi a re sa reka ditikete a ntse ko stadium ba ne go re rekisa ko compute.
It means a lot to so many people because you believe that as a footballing country, we've got such skills, so much talent, such passion for the game from the ordinary man in the street that we can become one of the foremost footballing nations in the world. You want to see South African soccer grow in leaps and bounds. You want to make a contribution to that. If you are a journalist, unfortunately, it's your job. By very nature, the job exposes you to all sort of things. Wonderful things, bad things, danger to life itself. But you're there. You are what? You are a soldier in a way. In all these things, a lot of good has come out of football.
They're not forgotten, and that is a good thing about it. That we don't forget those people that lost their lives at the Ellis Park on the 11th of April 2001.
Every item tells a story, but when the stories pile up, life can become overwhelming.
Man, back away from me! What you gonna do?
This season, families face the toughest decisions of their lives.
I really don't want to hear what you have to say.
She probably is afraid that I'm gonna punch the hell out of her. And I will.
Will they keep holding on, or finally let go, with the help of specialists and loved ones?
I'm Mark Pfeffer. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and specialist in hoarding disorder.
New chapters begin and old wounds start to heal. This isn't about clutter. It's about rebuilding trust, relationships, and hope. Because sometimes the hardest thing to let go of is the past.
You are dramatic.
Oh, I'm dramatic?
About cleaning.
Excuse me, I'm realistic.
Hoarders, new struggles, new breakthroughs, new beginnings. Monday, 7:30, SABC2.
Experience horse racing like never before. That is dispatch from the 1600-meter marker. Homeward bound now, 400 meters to go. And tomorrow's runner, Tobacconist, JP's Palace and Kitchako. Number 5 is the tote favorite at 470. Gallop